Ulster Division was about to face its first major test, but Nugent was confident that his men would be up to the challenge. He issued the following special order to the officers and men on the 30th of June 1916. On the eve of the offensive for which the Ulster Division has trained and waited for so many months, I wish that every officer and man of the division should know how absolutely confident I feel that the honour of the British Army and the honour of Ulster are in safekeeping in their hands. It has been my privilege to command the division in France during the past 9 months, during which time I have had various opportunities of seeing that it has been steadfast in defence and gallant in minor offensives. The time has now come to show the world the qualities which fit it for the great offensive about to open. Much is expected of the Ulster Division, and I am certain that the expectation will be fulfilled. Resolution, self-reliance, and the spirit which knows no surrender and no defeat are present in full measure, and will bear fruit on the battlefield that will rebound to the credit of our country. 9 months ago, the King, after his inspection of the division, desired me to write and tell him how it bore itself in the first great encounter with the enemy. I hope that I shall be able to write and tell him how the men of Ulster Division bore themselves like men in the day of battle, and did all that was expected of them. To every officer and man of the Ulster Division I wish success and honour. O.W.S. Nugent, Major General, Commanding Division.
The 36th Ulster Division fought with great gallantry during the assault on Swaben Redoubt at Thiepval on the 1st of July 1916, but suffered heavily. Some 2,000 soldiers of the Ulster Division were killed and 3,500 were wounded. Amongst these casualties were members of the 9th Battalion, Royal Inniskilling Fusiliers, the Tyrones. The battalion entered the battle on that fateful day with 22 officers and 680 men. But when they were relieved from the front on the evening of the 2nd of July, their roll call showed that 16 officers and 461 men were killed, wounded or missing. Many men from Dungannon and surrounding district were casualties at the Somme on the 1st of July 1916. Their loss was deeply felt by their families and friends in the locality. However, there was also an intense sense of pride in the courage and discipline that they had shown, and it was hoped that their heroic actions would encourage other men to join up to serve king and country, to replace those who had been wounded or killed. These mixed emotions were succinctly expressed in an article which appeared in the Belfast newsletter in the late August 1916. The deeds of gallantry performed by the Tyrone volunteers on the 1st of July, as recorded by Lieutenant Colonel Ricardo's thrilling report published in Saturday's issue, have aroused feeling of intense enthusiasm and pride in the Dungannon district, the native place of many of those mentioned in the report, and will have the effect of stimulating many of their former companions and relatives to volunteer at once to fill the gaps. Corporal Robert Dixon, who is reported as having done very fine work throughout the fight, is a son of Mr. Richard Dixon, until recently residing at Lisnahull, Dungannon, but now living in Belfast. Corporal Dixon's brother, Private William R. Dixon, Royal Inniskilling Fusiliers, was killed during the Battle of Festubert in 1915, and in recent letters Corporal Dixon stated that on the 1st of July he had amply revenged his brother's death. He is a member of Holdfast LOL number 1620, Dungannon. Private Thomas Gibson, who single-handedly killed 3 Germans who were working a machine gun, is a son of the late Mr. Wilson Gibson, Derry, Killisland, and was employed as a labourer. His relatives now reside in Scotland. Sergeant George McKinstry was wounded in the back with shrapnel, but could have made his way to the field aid station. Instead, he preferred to remain during the night with his wounded company officer, Captain Muriel, and attended to the latter's injuries. Sergeant McKinstry is a younger son of Mr. George McKinstry, McGeshel, Dungannon, and his wife and children reside in Milltown, Dungannon. He was employed in Mercer's Dixon & Co. linen manufacturers, and was an active member of Mageshel LOL No. 708 and of C Company Dungannon Battalion, Ulster Volunteer Force. Lance Sergeant James McPeak, who is stated to have done splendid work throughout the attack and to have set a fine example, was severely wounded in the hand by shrapnel. His relatives reside in Linfield Street, Dungannon, and he was a member of Holdfast LOL No. 1620, Dungannon, and was an efficient signaller of the Dungannon Battalion, UVF. The experience of the first day of the Somme on the Ulster Division was very much in the thoughts and minds of the officers and men alike, both in their official capacity and recreational activities. This is illustrated in the account of a meeting of the Young Citizens LOL No. 871, which took place in France on the 12th of July 1916, published in the Belfast newsletter on the 2nd of August 1916. The members of this lodge held a meeting in France on the evening of the 12th of July. The Worshipful Master, Brother and Sergeant Thomas Murphy presiding. The following brethren were in attendance: Lieutenant Thomas H. Mays, Quartermaster J. Kenning, Sergeant G. Foy, Privates G. Burns, R. McBride, W. Leachman. The following resolution was passed: that this meeting of the brethren representing the Young Citizens LOL 871 hereby reaffirm their loyalty to the Crown and Constitution of Great Britain and Ireland, being Protestant, and calls on all loyal men of Ulster who have not joined the colours to come forward and replenish the ranks of the Ulster Division in order that the division may remain truly representative, and at the same time help to prosecute the war with vigour and bring it to a victorious termination. The brethren also deplore the heavy losses sustained by the Ulster Division on the date of the 1st of July 1916, and do hereby convey their deepest sympathy to the relatives of their gallant comrades who fell on the field of battle. The Belfast newsletter printed in its paper on the 13th of July 1916, the order of the day that was issued by Brigadier General Shooter, DSO, to the YCV and Inniskilling Brigade, the 109th, on the 3rd of July 1916. The order read: the Brigadier General Commanding wishes to express his warm congratulations and high appreciation to all ranks of the brigade on their gallant hearing and conduct during the great attack on the 1st of July. The advance of the brigade was so dashing, so resolute and determined that it was entirely irresistible and carried all before it, chasing the enemy in all directions and taking approximately 400 prisoners. Each battalion of the brigade, as we anticipated by all those who knew the grit and sterling qualities of the men of the Ulster Division, vied with each other in deeds of personal gallantry and bravery, and the brigade carried out to the letter the task which was entrusted to it of taking New Line. In so doing, the brigade covered itself with undying fame and glory, and its dashing, determined advance and behaviour will undoubtedly go down in history as its share of the work of the great Ulster Division of Irishmen. Unfortunately, we have sustained grievous casualties, but the Brigadier General hopes that when the ranks are presently filled with drafts, that wherever they may come from, the survivors of the original brigade will do their utmost to instil their own magnificent fighting spirit into the new arrivals, as by so doing this they will be offering the most fitting tribute to their gallant dead comrades and friends who have fallen in honour on the field of battle, and who have left behind them such a splendid fighting record for those who come after them to live up to and emulate. A.C. Richardson, Captain, Brigade Major, 109th Brigade.